Hi everybody, it's Colette here, surviving unforgivable. I know I was supposed to be starting to go through my social work files, but something's triggered off a trauma in me, and I've been struggling really bad the last couple of days. Those of you that have read my book, those of you that are on my social media page will know all about my Auntie Wendy, how close we were, and she taught me how to be a young lady. She protected me as much as she could. She took me in when my mother nearly killed me. She did everything, and she died about 16, 17 years ago, and it really affected me, but I didn't have time to grieve because I had to sort out all the funeral, sort out all the details, and anyway, fast forward 16, 17 years, and I've come into contact with one of my Facebook friends who, meet up with a coffee and let's have a chat, let's put the world to rights. And before this, I'd put up a picture of my Auntie Wendy on social media, and this friend said we need to talk. She knew my Auntie Wendy. She knew her husband Dave. When my auntie died, I got a phone call from Dave, her husband, saying that she died. She'd had a massive heart attack. Could we get up there? So we got up there as quick as we could. As far as I was aware, he was there with her all the time. She was never left alone because she was seriously ill. She was really poorly. So I'd had that in my head up until about 4 years ago, and one of my old friends, her uncle is Dave, and I found out that he'd been cheating on my Auntie Wendy and all sorts. I knew that he got married within months of my Auntie Wendy dying, but I never really put anything on it. They didn't have children together because my auntie couldn't have any. So I didn't think anything of it, and then I wanted to know where her headstone was and where all of her money was, because nothing was... Her gravestone had literally disintegrated. Her wooden cross had disintegrated, but it had been placed there 16 years ago when we buried her. So because we haven't got the deeds to this plot, we can't. But anyway, I digress. This friend told me that he'd been cheating on Wendy for years. He basically, nowadays we call it coercive control. She was told what time she had to be in. He wanted to know where she was at all times. She had a curfew. She had no life. At this point, I'm so angry to say that I allowed my ex-partner... He stopped me from seeing my Auntie Wendy. He knew how close we were, but I think that's what it was. It was a bit of jealousy. So yeah, the problem I'm having at the moment is we've always been there for each other. She was always there for me when I needed her. She was always there, no matter what. And now I feel like I let her down, because the Wendy that died wasn't the Wendy that I knew. She ended up in a wheelchair, but that was the hospital's fault. But she'd put on loads of weight. She didn't... Her house was unkempt, which was not like her at all, but She was wheelchair bound, she couldn't do anything. And he'd leave her for days. And she had no one to turn to. I should have been that person that she turned to. I'm so angry. I'm angry at Dave. I'm angry at my ex. I'm angry with myself. Because I allowed this to happen. Wouldn't have happened if I was around. Not a chance. Not a chance. So yeah, the next one I do will be on my social work files, but I just needed to have a bit of a rant because I'm so angry. I let her down. I wasn't there when she needed me the most. She was on her own. Oh, thank you for letting me do that.